DC's old Georgetown, 34th and M, there's a building that I knew so well. It's been many years now since I've been inside, same though, best I can tell. Now there are some places in my old hometown where songs play or you can keep score, but no one I know had a better night's time than down at the old cellar door. I'd get there real early when there was a show, 'cause parking was always a pain. I'd walk down that hill, then over 2 blocks. Sometimes I'd run through the rain. Sometimes in a chair, sometimes on the stair. I'd sit for 3 hours or more. I'd listen to teachers, listen to friends, down at the old cellar door. I just can't believe it was so long ago. Seems just like yesterday. 'Cause the people that I got to see as a kid, their names that you all would know. There was Lightfoot in Denver, Chapin and Croce, Mitchell and King and Nero. And who could forget those Sunday night hoots? You got what you came for and more. And you'd never know who'd turn up on that stage down at the old cellar door. I just can't believe it was so long ago. Seems just like yesterday. 'Cause down at the corner of 34th and M, there's this place I love so well. The memories I hold dear of time spent inside are more than I'm able to tell. Just for one night could all be the same as it was there for 10 years or more. My heart will remember the days of my youth down at the old cellar door. Down at the old cellar door.
Well, that was some wonderful music here in the Yarden. And who do we have playing that music today here in the Yarden?
Len Jaffe,
Len?
native Washingtonian.
All right, Len. Can you tell us and tell the viewers of Locally Grown about yourself and your music?
Sure. I started playing music for people about 1969 in the coffee house circuit in the DC area. Graduated to the clubs. And I've been playing altogether for about 40 years when I decided, about 2009, after being very, very busy for a long, long time, to bring it back a little bit. And now I play mostly for my own enjoyment, but I do the occasional house concert.
All right. And so you grew up here in D.C.?
I did.
All right. Not far from the Yarden?
Not far from the Yarden at all. I grew up about 1.5 miles away.
All right.
Went to Sligo Junior High School, which is now Sligo Middle School.
Middle school, yes.
And graduated from Northwood High School. Went to Montgomery College in Rockville and graduated from there. And when I finished there, I decided to take some time off and get completely involved in the music business here in town.
And what was the music business like, what was that, 1960?
I would say from 1970
Uh-huh.
till about 1977. There was a creativity here in Washington coming from several different areas. Acoustic music, folk, and bluegrass in particular. Seldom Seen were born in that era. Bill and Tappy Danoff that helped John Denver get a foothold. Bill wrote Take Me Home Country Roads. John helped him finish it. Of course, Bill went on to become involved in the Starland Vocal Band, and they had a big hit with Afternoon Delight. Emmylou Harris came from this area. Quite a few other people besides. But it was a wonderfully creative time, and I wanted to be in on it. And I didn't finish my degree at Maryland until about 74 to 76.
And you have no regrets about that?
Not at all.
All right.
Not at all.
All right. Hazel Dickens was running around Georgetown at that time,
She was
too.
indeed.
Yep.
Absolutely. Sure, I knew Hazel.
Yep.
Nice lady.
Yep. Well, and that song that you just played, that's very significant to the music scene at that time and even into the 80s.
True. Cellar Door was around from the mid 60s, and it closed under maybe a third ownership in January of '82. They just couldn't hold on to what they had. There were some things that happened in terms of cutting back on the capacity of the place, and a lot of the people who became household names, people like John Denver and Gordon Lightfoot, and Joni Mitchell, Carole King, they all graduated from the club scene to the concert scene. And
Right here in Washington.
right here in Washington, yeah. They
34th and M.
34th and M, Cellar Door, and they graduated to places like DAR Constitution Hall and Wolf Trap and Meriwether Post Pavilion. And then there were secondary groups of entertainers who came along, and they did well, but they weren't in that first wave the way James Taylor was, and
Right.
Denver and Lightfoot and all these other.
You mentioned playing in some coffee houses around town. Do you remember what those venues were called and where they were?
The one venue that I can remember, because I played there all the time when I got started, was a little coffee house at Thomas Circle in the basement of the Luther Place Memorial Church called the Iguana.
Oh, I've heard about the Iguana. Yeah.
The Iguana was very, very special.
All right, great. And what are you going to play for us today in the yard? Some more original songs?
Do a couple more originals, and I got a song that a buddy of mine named John Lyon wrote.
All right.
One of the most significant things that I feel I ever did in my life, in 1979, after knowing John for 10 or 11 years, he gave me a call one day and said, would you like to start a songwriters association? I knew that he was writing, he knew that I was writing. I had had a single out in 1978, 40 years ago this month. I recorded it, and I said, yeah, that would be an interesting idea. And we met with two women who approached John about the association first for about 6-8 months, and in June of 1980, the Songwriters Association opened up to membership.
All right.
And it's going strong today.
Good, good, good. All right. Well, let's play some of those songs that you've written, some that you like, some that you want to cover today here in the yard.
This is a song that was written by my dear friend John Lyon. John and I started the Songwriters Association of Washington together in the late 70s, took on membership in 1980. We already knew that both of us were songwriters, and I thought John was terrific. And he still is. He's still playing his music. I'm still playing mine a little bit. But this is one of his songs called Shores of the Pontchartrain. Time it take to try and shake the things that worry me. Do a little this and do a little that and think about what's to be. It's been hell at the wishing well, waiting to hear my name. When I heard the call, I left it all for the shores of the Pontchartrain. If you please, a southern breeze can make a man feel new. And as he sings, he softly brings sweet memories of you. I don't know how it happened, or if I can explain the mystery of you and me on the shores of the Pontchartrain. Is Cupid's aim the one to blame? Do I love you just the same? Is this a dream? Could it be for true? The old man in the bayou moon looking down says, how you do? Hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Beside the lake was no mistake, I never had a chance. It gave my heart a brand new start when you asked me to dance. Pretty soon that crescent moon spied on a lover's game. And all the while I saw him smile on the shores of the Pontchartrain. In between, I'd only seen the magic of it all. Dreams began when I took Cinderella to the ball. Make no mistake, your secret's safe. Here it will remain. And the flames will burn when you return to the shores of the Pontchartrain. Is Cupid's aim the one to blame? Do I love you just the same? Is this a dream? Could it be for true? The old man in the bayou moon, looking down, says, how you do? Hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? The time I take to try and shake the things that worry me. I was born back in December 1830 to the fathers of the Southern Railway. All the world was riding with the engineer and brakeman when they cut the ribbon for me Christmas Day. It was cold and it was snowing. My headlight faced Augusta, but the grace of God was firmly on my side. When we pulled out of the station, the fire burning brightly gave my crew and friends the maiden ride. Can't you hear me calling in the distance? Can't you hear my steam whistle moan? Gleaming in the morning sun, I'm the best friend of Charleston, coming down the line to take you home. All the wings of speed I travel at 20 miles an hour to the clicking of the track beneath my wheels. Farmhands in the cornfields heard passengers cheering loudly. They hurried home to eat their evening meals. Like a rocket sled on railings, beyond adjoining farmland, my freight cars carried cargo far and wide. With the backing of a handful, vision of Mr. Allen, my creation brought a source of stately pride. Can't you hear me calling in the distance? Can't you hear my steam whistle moan? Gleaming in the morning sun, I'm the best friend of Charleston, coming down the line to take you home. Now for half a year my freight cars passed through the Dixie daylight within the grasp of the Atlantic shore. But my reputation ended altogether much too early. A mishap took place and I was no more. On a June day, hot and humid, without a word of warning, firemen closed off escaping steam. It was only moments, for the pressure grew too heavy. I exploded in a southern dream, and I say, can't you hear me calling in the distance? Can't you hear me, my steam whistle moan? Don't you hear your native son? I'm the best friend of Charleston, coming down the line to take you home. I say, can't you hear me calling in the distance? Can't you hear my steam whistle moan? Gleaming in the morning sun, I'm the best friend of Charleston, coming down the line to take you home. This is a song I wrote for a very special lady, and I hope wherever she is, she can still hear it. I've been searching for someone like you for a long, long time. Every night you're in my dreams, every day you're on my mind. When they made you, girl, they broke the mold. That's why it's so hard to find someone just like you. You're one of a kind. I've been living from day to day with nothing much to do. The hours that pass me by now, they're the ones I'll spend with you. Like to trade all these lonely days for the happy ones we'll find. No one else could take your place. You're one of a kind. You know that you're the answers to my questions and my prayers. In the end, I'll be your friend and the only one who cares. Can you find it in your heart to share your time with me? I can't help believing that's the way that it should be. You mean more to me than all the gold this old world's ever mine. No one else will do. You're one of a kind. You know that you're the answers to my questions and my prayers. In the end, I'll be your friend and the only one who cares. Can you find it in your heart to share your life with me? I can't help believing that's the way that it should be. You mean more to me than all the gold this old world's ever mine. No one else will do. Can't you see it's true? It's gotta be you. You're one of a kind. One of a kind. One of a kind. You're one of a kind. Here's a song I wrote called Here's to the Good Life. I wrote this about 1977. I had gone back to school and graduated with a bachelor's degree. Was very, very busy playing music. And I was having the time of my life because I was turning down work, which is something I didn't get to do very often as far as playing music was concerned. But everything was going real well, and I thought all of that deserved a song. I've been singing this song since 1977, quite a few years, almost 40 years, well, more than 40 years actually. And somebody heard it not too long ago and said, you know what, that should be a beer commercial. So if any of you out there who are seeing this like this song and you think you know somebody who might be able to turn it into a beer commercial, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. There's a place in the sun for the winners who've won all the prizes in life that are there. There's some time in the day to relax and to play when there's some loving to share. But once in a while you'll remember the times when these were all dreams in your mind. But you worked through the years, through the joys and the tears, left all the bad times behind. So here's to the good life. Here's to good times. Here's to the winners and all those who try. Here's to the future and whatever she holds. And whatever there is to be gained is as precious as gold. I've learned much in my time, though the years are not prime. Look forward to finding much more. But the lessons I need aren't the ones marked with green, but not far beyond my front door. Sometimes I've been lonely, it's only lasted as long as a moment or two. 'Cause I keep on believing, without ever grieving, good times will never be few. So here's to the good life. Here's to good times. Here's to the winners and all those who try. Here's to the future and whatever she holds. And whatever there is to be gained is as precious as gold. Yes, here's to the good life and whatever she holds. And whatever there is to be gained is as precious as gold.
Well, Len, that was a very impressive, locally grown shoot here. I loved your music. I loved the local flair. I like the fact that we have Len Jaffe, the founder of the Washington Songwriters Association, here in the yard. And you know what? The birds loved it.
They did.
They did. They stayed in key with you.
They sure did. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Got lots of birds here in the yard. And ladies and gentlemen, you can tune in each week to Locally Grown, where we grill and groove here in the Yarden.